The next group of plant pathogens that I would like to discuss is the group that contains the plant viruses. I really like this particular group of organisms because the symptoms that they cause oftentimes are very, very beautiful. Oftentimes with fungi and bacteria, I'm dealing with rots and decays, leaf spots, really symptoms that aren't particularly pretty. But many of the plant viruses will induce changes in color on leaves or flowers, which can be quite attractive. What's also interesting about viruses is how small they are. Quite frankly, you cannot see these organisms with a light microscope. You're going to need an electron microscope. And just to put things in perspective, they're actually viral pathogens of bacteria. So these organisms are smaller than bacterial cells. In terms of plant viruses, they're quite simple in terms of their structure. They are basically a piece of genetic material, usually a material called RNA, rather than the DNA that we have in our cells. And this RNA is typically encapsulated with a coat protein. They really have very simple reproduction as well. If you put a plant virus out on an inert surface like a table, they cannot reproduce on their own. Once you get the virus inside a plant cell, however, the virus takes over the internal functioning of that cell and forces the cell to make more viral particles. Viruses can be moved around in several different ways. Many types of plant viruses are associated with what are called insect vectors. These are insects that can move the virus from plant to plant. Certainly, this is not the only way that viruses can move around. There are other types of plant viruses that can be moved around by touch. As an example, there's a virus called tobacco mosaic virus. It can sometimes be found in tobacco products. And that one you can pick up on your hands, and if you handle plants, you can move it around and actually inoculate plants as you handle them. So you have to be very, very careful if you're a smoker not to pick up this virus